Chapter 60-50. At the same time, Chishire Temple Mountain Villa. The elderly Sister Sun came to the Zen room where Margaret was resting and said respectfully, "Madam, the young master went to Purple Mountain Villa after getting off the plane, probably to see Maria." "Okay, I understand." Margaret nodded slightly and said with a smile, "It seems that in Charlie's mind, Maria may be the best choice to share secrets." Sister Sun agreed. The young master and Maria are both people with many secrets. And their secrets each have their own merits in terms of shocking the world. Once you open up, there will definitely be many common topics. Margaret sighed. The main reason is that Maria is too smart. The more Charlie communicates with her, the lower the probability of making mistakes. There is someone around him who has lived for nearly 400 years to help him correct his mistakes at all times. Sister Sun nodded and asked, "Madam, Master Changjiang also left a photocopy of the preface to the 9 Mysteries Scriptures to Peter. The young master rescued him from New York this time and sent the Sifang Baozhu back to China. I think he should have obtained a photocopy of the preface to the 9 Mysteries Scriptures. Do you want to find a way to remind the young master not to practice in it?" Margaret said, "Last time at Shawanda Mountain, we had no choice but to contact Maria. That place was the last line of defense at that time. Once Charlie got there and didn't stop, we would have to risk exposing ourselves. There is a risk of imposing interference. Now we should try our best to avoid contact with Charlie. I believe that with Maria's intelligence, she will be able to guess the answer. We don't have to worry for the time being." With that, Margaret suddenly remembered something and said with a somewhat flustered expression, "Sister Sun, Maria might come to Chishire Temple to find you. To be cautious, I will leave Orus Hill later and go to Putuo Mountain to rest for a few days. You can stay here for one more day. If Maria hasn't come to Chishire Temple by this time tomorrow, you can come to Putuo Mountain to find me. If Maria comes alone, you can find an opportunity to meet her and confirm whether Charlie has practiced 9 mysterious hearts. Decision means, and also ask her about what kind of cooperation Charlie has reached with the Rothschild family this time when he went to the United States. I received news this morning that several companies in Silicon Valley that were waiting for Nvidia to supply graphics cards were banned for no reason. The delivery has been delayed, and I feel that this matter has something to do with Charlie." Sister Sun looked confused when she heard this and asked in confusion, "Madam, why do you suddenly think that Maria would come to Chishire Temple to find us?" Margaret said curiously, "Last time you stopped Maria at Shawanda Mountain. Although she didn't know about our identity. But she must know that the reason why we did this is because we care about Charlie and are afraid that Charlie will be in danger. This time Charlie brought back the 9 Mysterious Scriptures preface and went to Zijin Villa to see her immediately, so he would definitely open her heart. And with her intelligence, she must have been able to see that all of this was a trap set by Meng Changxing. And she must also be able to understand that the preface to the 9 Mysteries Scriptures is full of dangers for Charlie. Part 1. Once Charlie was in danger, we took action. Although this time it was not as urgent as last time. It was still equally important. She could definitely guess that we would most likely be paying attention to her secretly. If she knew that we were paying attention to her, and is sure that we are not a danger, she will most likely convey the information that she wants to meet us with actual actions. The last time you saw her, she was pretending to be a master. If she goes to any temple or nun in Orus Hill in the next 24 hours, that must be telling us that she wants to meet us. Chishire Temple is the most famous temple in Orus Hill. If she wants to convey information to us, she will most likely come here." Sister Sun couldn't help but be a little stunned. Although she has served Margaret wholeheartedly for many years. But her thinking still can't keep up with Margaret's rhythm. People say that those who guess 3 steps from 1 step are masters. And those who guess 10 steps from 1 step are just as good for ordinary people's understanding as metaphysics. However, although she didn't quite understand, she still didn't have any doubts about Margaret, so she said without hesitation, "Okay, madam, I'll wait for her here all day." A young woman pretending to be a nun, named Ravella, stepped in and said, Madam, Aunt Sun, we saw from the surveillance below the Purple Mountain that the young master left the Purple Mountain 10 minutes ago. After leaving the East Gate, the car headed south. It got on the highway, most likely going to the Champs-Élysées. 2 minutes ago, Maria also drove out alone, and now she has just driven out of Purple Mountain. Margaret asked, which direction did she go? Ravella said, back to Madam, she took north after leaving the East Gate of Purple Mountain. Sister Sun looked horrified and said, Maria took north, is she heading towards Cheshire Temple? Ravella said, returning to Aunt Sun, it is not yet certain. But we will follow her using traffic surveillance along the way to see where she is going. Margaret smiled slightly and said, Sister Sun, Maria should have come to Cheshire Temple. It takes at least 40 minutes by car to come from Purple Mountain. Please prepare. Sister Sun quickly asked her, Madam, is this subordinate going to meet her as a monk? Or is it some other identity? Margaret said, she must have seen through your fake monk's identity a long time ago. So you might as well wait for her in the parking lot outside the temple and chat with her for a few words outside. As for your conversations, just use plan A we made before.